I realize that boundaries are not for limitation. Boundaries are actually for your liberation. And today we're going to tackle the topic looking at the whole aspect of boundaries from the degree and from the element that boundaries are not barriers. Let's analyze how to build bridges, not walls. Well, I'm mic'd up. Join me today on In the Mix. And let's mix it up. What's good, good people? So glad to know that you've joined us today for another episode of In the Mix. And we're continuing our conversation on boundaries and the whole aspect of ensuring that they are not barriers. Scripture encourages us to guard our heart, but that guarding of our heart does not mean to build an impenetrable wall. What we should be rather rearing and developing is a bridge. Because here's what I understand. When you're building a wall, now it's becoming an impenetrable fortress. Now it is blockading love and peace and prosperity and opportunity that someone else can sow into your life. And so, because of the walls that we have built due to defense mechanisms, due to hurt and pain and shame and scars and bruises and wounds in our own life that we have not shifted and transformed those wounds into wisdom, now we grapple with the whole notion and the whole aspect of remaining behind an impenetrable wall, only to look out, but not to reach out, only to look out, but never really to look within. And that's why it's very, very important that we do the healing. Because if we continue to go through life wounded, we'll always remain behind a wall. If we continue to go through life wounded, we'll always walk behind walls. When we need to tear down the Jericho walls, we need to overcome the Great Wall of China to a certain degree. That becomes a challenge to us. And we need to really get to the particular place of building a bridge. I remember being a kid and I heard it was a big to-do in the 80s. And it was former President Ronald Reagan who said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Very, very big situation took place in Berlin, Germany. And that Berlin Wall that came down is also indicative of the fact that we have to command certain things to come down. We have to tear down particular walls, walls of injustice, walls of shame and walls of pain, walls of hurt that should now become bridges of healing, walls that keep you confounded, conflated, and conflicted. And we need to begin to build bridges. Because if we continue to keep up walls in our own life, here's what we'll do. We'll continue to bleed on people who didn't cut us. And now we got to get to a greater level and a greater place in our own life to where we're speaking life into somebody else's life. But we can't speak life into anybody else's life until we first speak life into our own self. Shifting from building a wall to building a bridge. Why do I say build a bridge? Because a bridge is now going to allow you to grant or deny access to whomever, whenever based upon, here it is, their particular behavior. This is, yeah, a boundary does not mean you build an impenetrable wall. As I said before, boundaries are not barriers. Boundaries are a bridge. And what I understand about a bridge allows you to inspect as an individual who is governing your bridge. You are allowed to inspect what is coming across your territory. I live in Detroit. Many of you know that. I rep the D. Of course, I'm rocking the Lions. But if I was going to Windsor, I have to cross a bridge. We call this the Ambassador Bridge. For me to get over from Detroit to Canada, Detroit to Windsor, I have to take a particular bridge. And what I also have to do, oftentimes, I'm going to have to be stopped by a particular attendant. I'm going to have to be stopped by a particular officer, as he's going to stop not just me, but stop so many others, because they're going to check and see, what is it that I'm carrying in my car? What is it that's in the bag? Making sure that what is coming across that bridge is not unlawful. Right? You may be totally in the right. You ain't done nothing. So guess what? It shouldn't really sway you or really upset you at all, because you know you don't have nothing on you and you're not doing nothing wrong. Your intention is a good intention. And that's what you have to ascertain. That's what you have to begin to inspect. The individuals who want to come into your life, aka want to cross that bridge in your life, do they have a flammable object to where they want to burn a bridge? Is their attitude inflamed? Is their attitude incensed? I have to be an inspector of my particular bridge, of my particular boundaries. And how do I know that somebody's going to adhere to those boundaries? Because scripture tells us that you shall know a tree by the fruit that it bears. Watch, watch, watch. Look at people's actions. Yeah. Analyze people's actions, but also here's another thing. Look at other people's reaction to you putting your foot down, to you saying this is a particular boundary that's going to be in my life. I'm going to live my life this particular way. This is how I'm going to operate. Look and watch and analyze and see how people react to that. And that lets you know right there, do I need to allow this particular person into my life, give them access across the bridge of my life into my life, or do I need to deny them access? And this is what we have to get into our vocabulary. We got to get that word no into our vocabulary. No doesn't come with an explanation. No doesn't come with a question mark. No doesn't come with a comma. No comes with a period. No oftentimes even may come with an exclamation point. Standing 10 toes down on your no. Letting your yes be your yes and letting your no be no. That's what up, though. And that's what it is for sure. We're going to take a quick break. Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. But after these messages, I'm coming right back. Quicker than quick. Stick and stay. More's on the way on In the Mix. Hey, we're just a few days away. Yeah, it's yours truly, Dr. Eddie. We're just a few days away from my newest book. It's my 19th book, Know Your No. You have to know who to know, and you have to know who to know. And that will help you to say yes to yourself. This is the book on how to build healthy boundaries and love without losing yourself. It's available right now on Amazon. You can even get a signed copy at EddieConnor.com. Tell a friend, gift it to a friend, get it for yourself. Go and get it right now. Yes, y'all. Bam. That's what it is. If you don't have the book, go get it right now. Know your no. Go get it for show. It's going to be an amazing, amazing read. I want you to get this book into your hands. Go get it. Quicker than quick. Sooner than soon. Right now. Not just now, but right now. It's available on Amazon. It's available on my website, EddieConnor.com/know your no. EddieConnor.com/know your no. It's my 19th book, y'all. It's my 19th book. And I feel as if it's my first one. I'm just that rejuvenated. I'm just that feeling creative. I'm just that inspired. Yeah. And I know that this is going to be a topic that is going to really speak life into your life. You know, you need to get this book, not just for yourself. You need to get this book for somebody else. I'm really tackling how to navigate difficult relationships, how to find peace under pressure, how to not just be someone who reacts but responds, because you're not a thermometer, you're a thermostat. How to handle relationships with your coworkers and your parents and your siblings and your significant other and your friends, navigating that whole aspect of relationships. Do you find yourself continually overextending yourself? Do you find yourself continually compromising? Do you find yourself continually being a people pleaser? This is the book for you. How to build healthy boundaries and love without losing yourself. Know your no. You got to know who to know, and you have to know who to know. Got to know who to know. Got to know who to know. N-O. No is new opportunity. No is on backwards. I'm on to another level. I'm on to the next one. And as we look at that, which is so near and dear to me, writing this particular book and knowing the freedom of what it is that's going to bring us to that particular level and that lane, looking at boundaries from this particular aspect. And I want you to lean in on this. The prefix of boundaries is bound. Boundaries cause you to be free. Boundaries cause you to be loosed from what has kept you wrapped up, tied up, and tangled up. And too often we are bound because we don't build boundaries. We're bound by other people's opinions that become our prison. We're bound by the ways of the past. We're bound by what other people said about us and bound by what other people did to us. And we've never found ourselves in our purpose because we've been bound by the past. But this is your season of liberation. And I need you to understand this. Boundaries are not about limitation. Boundaries are about liberation. It's not trying to limit you. It's trying to put you into the place of the unlimited realm. But in order for you to step into the unlimited realm, there are some things that you're going to have to do. There are some tough decisions that you're going to have to make. There's some no's that you're going to have to communicate. There are some restrictions that you're going to have to put in place for your peace, for your sobriety, for your mental angst, to alleviate that. Things are going to have to transpire and things are going to have to happen that particular way in a space, in a place for you to move into a level of healing. Going to have to learn how to strategically deal with difficult people. Going to have to learn how to communicate effectively. Going to have to develop your emotional intelligence and your relational intelligence and your spiritual intelligence. You're going to have to build healthy boundaries. You're going to have to put yourself on your own calendar. Got to put yourself on your own schedule. Why? So that you're not pouring from an empty cup. Because here's what I understand. If you're not building in breaks, you're going to break. If you're not building in rest, you're never going to be able to progress. If you don't rest, you rust. You rust because the pressure becomes so much. The pressure moves you into a place to where it becomes so combustible. And you have to save some of you, not for them, not for them, not for her, not for him. Save some of you for you. This is not selfish. This is selfless. The flight attendant even understands that. That's why they tell you to put your own mask on, put your mask on first before you're trying to help anybody else. I can't really help you if I'm in a place of a deficit. I can't really help you if I have not safeguarded and secured my own self. It's what it is. Heard somebody say the other day, say, listen, I'm stingy with me. I said, I'm stingy with myself. I'm very protective of me, is what they said. They're talking about themselves. They're very protective of themselves because most of the time people go unprotected. Their heart is, their mind is, their soul is, their spirit is. People don't really protect anybody else other than their own interest. But here's what you got to do. You've got to be an individual who is protective of your own interest. Your mind should be a part of your own interest. Your spirit should be a part of your own interest. That should not go unprotected. Your soul ought to be a part of the interest, because what is it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? That's why I say this. How to love without losing yourself. And too many times we have lost ourselves because we did not build healthy boundaries. We created barriers. We built walls. And now, as a result of it, because we built those walls, because we built those barriers, we operate out of a place of control. We operate out of a place of conceit. We operate out of a place of being dismissive to other individuals. We operate out of a place of hurt and shame and pain because we did not put protective elements. I'm not talking about at the end. I'm talking about in the middle. I'm not talking about even in the middle. Matter of fact, I'm talking about in the beginning. Putting it in the beginning of the relationship. When you see something, say something. If it's not agreeing with your spirit, if it's not agreeing with your heart, if it's not agreeing where it is that God has taken you in the pathway of purpose, why allow it to go unaddressed? Talk about it. Speak life to it. Deal with it. Remedy it. And if other people can't embrace it, move on from it. Those are your marching orders right there. What will you do with it? I want you to get this book and I want you to do something with this. I want you to get your pen. I want you to get your highlighter. I want you to gift this to somebody else. Get a book for you and someone else to know your no is that. Know your no. How to build healthy boundaries and love without losing yourself. You're going to find yourself. You're going to find not just yourself. You're going to find the space and place of where your boundaries ought to be. And you're going to intersect on the road to boundaries and breakthroughs. They're not barriers. No, no, no. They're not walls. No, no, no. They are bridges. So that you can build from the inside out. And that's without a doubt. If you're not a member of my Eagles community, go ahead and become a member right now. TheEaglesAcademy.com. TheEaglesAcademy.com. It's time for you to soar into greater success and purpose. Developing your emotional intelligence, developing your insight, and creating opportunities and avenues in your business, building your brand, developing who it is that you are, tapping into your unique identity and ability. Go ahead and get my book, yes, Know Your No, but also go ahead and register for my Eagles community. I'd love to see your face in our digital space. Go right now to theeaglesacademy.com, theeaglesacademy.com. When you get there, tap the join now button. Fill out the form. I guarantee you're going to be transformed. Let's make this book number one, family. Let's make this book number one once again. Once again. Let's do that. This is a riveting read from cover to cover, and I guarantee you're going to recover as a result of the power that is in and on these pages. Family is yours truly, Dr. Eddie, your main man, 100 grand, yo brother. And I mean that from another mother. Family has been fun, but you know, brother got to run. So I want you to know it's been a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, joy. Yes, it has been beyond measure, but I want you, yes, you, I'm talking to you now, to remember to keep the faith and believe it's going to be bigger, better, brighter, peace, and a whole lot of love. Keep soaring higher. Hey, we're just a few days away. Yes, yours truly, Dr. Eddie. We're just a few days away from my newest book. It's my 19th book, Know Your No. You have to know who to know, and you have to know who to know. And that will help you to say yes to yourself. This is a book on how to build healthy boundaries and love without losing yourself. It's available right now on Amazon. You can even get a signed copy at EddieConnorJr.com. Tell a friend, gift it to a friend, get it for yourself. Go and get it right now.